guys, let's get into today's episode of What's the Right Shot. Keith with the serve here, and there's two things we're going to work on today. Number one, we are going to work on early racket prep when you're transitioning, so that you have a tendency to be able to hold those opponents over there, not really being able to guess, anticipate where you're about to play your forehand here on this transitional shot. Right? It either, you could go up the line, you could go directly at that player in front of you. Yeah, maybe you go in the middle, maybe you go back to the feet of the returner, or maybe you come around the outside corner of that ball with a forehand here and you roll it cross court into that alley. So that's thing one, is to make sure that when you're transitioning that you're not waiting to the last second to decide in the racket prep position right here what you're going to do, because eventually what happens is it's a tell. You start to show what you're about to do at the last second. Better players are going to pick up on that. So thing one is let's have early racket prep. Number two, if you look at the returner's partner, yes, I don't mind if you start on the service line when your partner's returning serve. Two reasons is, number one is you can help with the call. If it's if that serve is just a hair out, you can help with the call. But the other reason too is if this return does not go back cross court, if it ends up going, and I'm the server's partner here, if it ends up coming back to me, now at least you're in a position where you can defend, right? If you hang there on that service line. But as soon as you determine the ball's going away from the service partner, going back cross court, you gotta move up. You gotta move forward inside that service line, and I think the ideal spot's is right there in the middle. But because that returner's partner stays there, now the middle is a wide open vacuum. And here's what happens. And I think that Keith is the guy who's serving about to play the forehand. Two-time World Doubles champion. This guy's already gone to school on his opponents, knows what their tendencies are, and already knows that middle is going to be wide open, and ends up playing his transitional shot right into it, knowing that opponent in front of him is going to be staying back, right? And so here's what happens, is the returner now feels like, well, I got to cover that, and the next thing you know is now I've got a wide open volley back to where the returner was. So you know what? I'm going to add a third thing here. What the heck? So again, thing one is going to be early racket prep. And if that returner's partner stays back, then look, the middle is even bigger, right? And that causes a lot of confusion where either they don't make the shot because they're not sure who's going to take it, or both of them kind of move into the middle, which opens up the court, right? And the third thing here is I want to give you just a little hint on the volley that I play, is that you got to feel like you're going to get your racket head around the corner, around the outside of the ball, rather than just kind of pushing it in that direction. And once you get around the outside, then you can kind of give it that little underspin carve where it actually picks up speed coming off the racket head. But you got to get around the corner to be able to do that. And then just it'll get there. And even if the opponent gets there, it's going to be a low skidding. And there you have it. All right, guys, look, what I've got coming up here for you, just a quick message on the 80-20 reality of tennis, which is 80% of the time we're not playing points. Only 20% of the time are we actually doing this where we're playing points. So it's a free video. That video is coming up right now. Stick around to the end. Well, guys, really hope you enjoyed today's episode of What's the Right Shot. Look, if you did, please give this video a like, share it with your tennis buds. Any comments or questions, remarks, feedback, whatever's on your mind, right down below in the comments area. Let me know. I love to read your stuff and get back to you. And then if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that notification bell that you are subscribed to the channel so that you're always notified every time I either go live and or upload new episodes of What's the Right Shot. Look, as I mentioned before, the 80-20 reality of our matches is that 80% of the time we're not playing points. 80% of the time is spent between points and on side changes. Right, only about 20% of the time are we actually involved in the points. So what that means is that you got to nail that 80% of the match, right? Between points and on side changes. And when you are really organized and when you really manage that time well, you tend to play at the very top of your skill level on a consistent point by point basis. What I've got for you is a free video. It's my 4 parts, very specific between points routine, my BPR. It's a free 9-minute video that is right down below. There is a link. Go ahead and click that link and just drop in a first name email over first name email address over at that web page, and you will get immediate access to this game changing 9-minute video. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Again, as I did say before, get out there, help someone else have a great day, and I'll see you again next time.